Hello my viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Professor Beatrice Mburugu, a talk show where we discuss issues to do with social, psychological and mental issues that affect our members in the society. Today we are discussing a very pertinent topic on healthy and toxic relationships. And kindly, if you are new here, subscribe, like, and share the link with others. Turn also on the notification bar so that when we have new videos, you can be informed. What is toxic relationship and what is a healthy relationship? A toxic relationship is a relationship where people have issues, thorny issues, when they are together as friends. And this can be in two levels, my viewers. It can be before marriage. For people who have not married, they may be in a relationship. And this relationship can be toxic when they are not coping, or when there are thorny issues that they are not able to agree upon. When we talk about healthy relationships, it can also be before marriage. And again, it can be sour, it can be thorny, it can have issues. And basically, we won't be sharing this, my viewers. Now, when we talk about healthy relationships, when people are married, it is after people have married, either customary marriage, it can be a church marriage, it can be any type of marriage that is around in many countries, and it differs. It can also be a toxic relationship in marriage where the husband and the wife are not in good terms, in terms of communication, in terms of parenting, in terms of upbringing their children, or even career and advancement. My viewers, it is very important to note that when we have healthy relationships, there are some factors that are considered for people to be in a relationship. One of the factors is age. According to counseling psychologists like me, we usually say that the right age to marry should be between 23 to 35 years of age. And so when one marries earlier or after 35 years, there could be issues that emanate from the reproductive health, the maturity of this person, and these are some of the factors that can make a relationship to be healthy or unhealthy. For example, if a young person, two young person of 16 years or 18 years marry somebody of 50 years, the age gap is too wide, and therefore their interests, their characters may have a mismatch. And this basically may bring an issue in having a very toxic relationship where there are disagreements, there could be arguments because they have different goals and the dreams and the visions in life. When we get into the next level where people are in a relationship, that is marital relationship, it is important also to take note of age, because people of age gap that ranges between 2 years and 4 years, they are likely to understand. My viewer, don't forget that age difference should really matter in any relationship. For example, in counseling psychology, we know that ladies mature faster than males. And therefore, if a male marries a lady who is older than the male, then there could be a toxic relationship in terms of the age gap, because even the thinking, the cognitive maturity may differ. It is therefore important to emphasize on the issue of relationships that are either healthy or toxic based on the factor of age. Another important thing that we should note when it comes to relationships, whether before marriage or after marriage, is the personality. And this is where many people, they overlook. The personality types differ, and it is important to note personality types can bring an healthy relationship, or unhealthy relationship, the one we are referring to as toxic. One may be very cool. That is a temperament we usually say is introverted. People are very quiet. They don't sharing a lot, but they are very good in when it comes to development and creativity. But basically, they don't like very sociable life. They don't like hanging out with the friends. They don't like talking a lot. Their main issue is actually communicating with the machines, and therefore they make very good accountants, they make very good bankers, very good architects, very good engineers, and basically they are very creative and they have science-oriented courses. Now, when such a person is in a relationship with another one who is extroverted, who likes going out, hanging out, sharing with the friends, and having fun, then these two personality types may match because the weakness of one personality becomes the strength of another personality type. And I want to give a very good example, my viewer, that if an introverted person, the one with a very cool temperament, and these are people who are very calm, marries another introverted lady, then you find that when there are issues, because in a marriage, there are only issues that come along. And this is what leads to toxic relationship. You will always find them not communicating. So what happens, my viewer, is that they'll be quiet for like a week, 2 weeks, even a month. And they may only communicate through SMS. They may communicate through the gestures. And this can be very toxic. It can be very dangerous because if you don't communicate, nobody understands your feelings. And basically this can bring a breakup of marriage. It can also bring a breakup in a relationship. So my viewers, it is important that we put also personality into consideration during these two levels of relationships. Another thing, my viewer, that people overlook is the brand type. Yes, I know you're asking about brand type. Remember, there are people with the rhesus negative factor, and there are those with the positive rhesus factor. I'm not saying that you didn't need to go for a brand test to know the type of brand, but this helps when it comes to bearing of children, because the brand group can be incompatible, as we know, from even our biological point of view. You may find that one has maybe, for example, a B positive, another one has a O negative brand type. And so when they want a child, they need to have the compatibility of that brand factor. So they are undevised. If they didn't know their rhesus factors, they are undevised, so that after getting the firstborn, the secondborn may have issues. The rende can get an injection that we refer as anti-D immunization to make them brand compatible and to avoid future miscarriages. And so we find in the society today, there are people with issues about getting children simply because they do not really understand that this is something that can be corrected. Another thing that we really need to note in relationships, for it to be healthy or unhealthy, it is the factor of religion. Very important. Remember, religion is a cultural thing, and the people have beliefs in God. They have beliefs in a supreme deity, and therefore, if, for example, one is a Christian, another one is a Muslim, another one is a Indian, they really need to have the same religious values for them to cope very well. My viewer, don't forget that research that has been done shows that the divorce rate is very high for people who have dissimilar interest, religion, cultural values, and all that. So it is also important to consider religion because it is more cohesive, a relationship where people share the same faith because of their cultural beliefs, their doctrines, and all that. That is also another factor that can be considered, not ignoring also denominations, because also the denominations may vary in even one region. Viewers, it is important also to note that relentless factors can bring toxic and unhealthy relationships, where one is believing in a certain deity, another one is believing in another one. And so the children, as they bring the children up, it may bring issues, especially on which religious values as a family, as a healthy relationship are we following. And so you find a toxic relationship emanating from these differences. My viewer, it is also important to note culture plays a very key role. We are encouraging diversity of our cultures because our cultures are very rich. So we really need to encourage the intercultural marriages or intertribal marriages. But as we even look at intertribal marriages, we also need to know the values that our cultures have. Those various backgrounds, they can really help us have a very healthy relationship. It can also be toxic, depending on stereotypes that people attach to cultures. So it is important that people understand that all cultures are important depending on the cultural background. And therefore, it can lead to a healthy relationship. It can also lead to a toxic relationship, depending on whether I value your culture as a male or whether you value my culture as a female. Another important thing, my viewer, that I want us to share today about relationships, for them to be healthy or toxic, depends on the future plans that people have. When people get into a relationship, they need to communicate and agree about their career development. For example, if I am already, I would like maybe to have and advance my career maybe from a diploma to a degree to a master's to a PhD, and the other one also may need to advance their careers. It is very important that people discuss on these matters. Otherwise, they can bring down the issues that can lead even to violence, that can lead even to people separation, or even divorce in marriage. And that is when we now talk about a toxic relationship, because during the dating, during the courting, they never agreed on such thorny issues. Again, it can bring a very healthy relationship where people communicate, they agree on issues that they would really want to have, including the number of children that people would want to have. So it is always important that people agree on the number of children that they want to bring up, so that they will not have thorny issues that can lead to toxic relationships later in life. For example, if they agree on 2 or 3, another one may want to have their family members being born. I want my sister born, I want my mother born, I want my father. And so the female partner may feel that this is not the agreement that we had. And it can lead to a toxic relationship, which can be abusive. It can lead also to divorce. It can also lead to breaking up for people who are not potentially married. It is very important that people respect one another in a relationship, accommodate each other's idea so that they are able to grow in their relationship. Otherwise, in the society today, we are experiencing so many people who are fighting. You find somebody even planning to murder, somebody who is a friend, somebody who is a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or even a wife or a husband. And even their children, they turn to their children. Why are these relationships becoming toxic? Because there is no agreement. There is no dialogue between the two partners. Whether before or after marriage, communication is very key, my viewer. It is important to be accommodative and to respect one another so that the relationship can be healthy. For this episode, it will continue. So for my viewers, I welcome you to kindly subscribe, like, and share my link. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.